Hello students, myself is Parminder Singh from Prab Kripa classes. Our today's topic is exploring frequency distribution tables. In our earlier course on statistics, we had discussed that data is of two types, primary data and secondary data. While the primary data is the data which is collected by us, that is in which we ourselves are involved in collecting the data. That is, the primary data is the original data, and the primary data can be collected by way of surveys, experiments, observations, etc. On the other hand, secondary data is the data which has been collected by others, and the same has been published somewhere, and we are making use of that data. Secondary data can be sourced from government records, newspapers, magazines, books, and digital records. The collected data can be presented in various forms, and one of such forms is to present the data by way of tables. And we can present the data in the form of ungrouped or grouped frequency distribution tables. Now, this course is going to be concentrated on frequency distribution tables. In this course, we will practically find out how to construct frequency distribution tables when the data is given. Now let us read what is written. After going through this course, the students will understand how to form a frequency distribution table where the data in respect of blood groups of many students is given, and how we can say which is the most common and which is the rarest blood group among the students. The students will also learn how to construct a grouped frequency distribution table when the data in respect of few engineers is given who reside at different distances from the place of work. The students will also learn that if the data in respect of humidity of a certain city for a few days is given, then how to construct a grouped frequency distribution table in respect of that data. And when the class size has also been given, we will also learn how to find the range of the data. The students will also learn how to form a grouped frequency distribution table when the data in respect of height of many students is given along with the class intervals, and what conclusion we draw from the table about the height of students. In nutshell, in this course we will learn about the how we can practically form the grouped frequency distribution tables when the data has been provided to us. Now the question before us is, the blood group of 30 students of class 8 are recorded as follows: A, B, O, and so on. Represent this data in the form of frequency distribution table, which is the most common and which is the rarest blood group among these students. Now, in this question, it is given that there are many students in the class and the blood groups of all these students has been recorded. Now we have been asked to form a frequency distribution table. Frequency distribution table means how many students have the particular type of blood group. That is, in respect of each blood group, we are to count the number of students and to represent the same in the form of a table. This is the question. We are to do this. Now, we will solve this question. Answer. We will first write. Now here we have to form the frequency distribution table. Now we will discuss here, right, what is the meaning of frequency. Frequency is the number of students with the same blood group. That is, we will here find out how many students have A blood group, how many students have B blood group. We will form the same in the form of a table. Now, these are the blood groups A, B, O and AB. These are the 4 blood groups. So we will here form the table. The title will be blood group, then will be tally. That is the number of times a blood group is found in the students. Now here is the number of students. It is also known as frequency. This will be the columns of the table. Now how many blood groups are there? There are A, B, O and AB. And AB. This is the table which we have formed, and now one of the ways is, while counting the students, we can verbally count that this is the first student having A blood group, this is the second, this is third, this is fourth, this is 5, this is 6, this is 7 and so on. When we are counting the same verbally, it may happen that there may be some disturbance from our classmate, from the colleague, other student which is sitting beside us in the examination, or the teacher who is in the examination hall may ask us to sign the attendance sheet, or some other form of disturbance may be there. And in the meanwhile, we will forget how many times we have calculated, or the number of times particular students having the same blood group. So we should not verbally count, because it will may result into wrong counting, or we will forget how many times we have remembered, or ultimately it will result into wastage of time. So we should count the students manually by writing the same in the examination hall. Now we will count the number of students having A blood group. While counting, we may cut the particular blood group which we have counted. Now this is A, we may write it this way, 1 number, then this we have counted, this is another, this is third, this is third, this is fourth, this is fourth, this is 5. Now we, instead of writing 5 next in the form of straight line, we will cut it so that we need not to count the same. It will 1, 2, 3, 4 and this will be the 5. Now this is the next 6th, this is 7th, this is 8th, this is 9th. So how many students have blood group A? This is the 9. Frequency of blood group A is 9. We can also say that the number of students having the blood group A are 9. Now we will count the number of students having blood group B. This is B. 1. Number of students 1. 2. Next this 3. 4. 5. This is 6. So the number of students having B blood group are 6, or we can say that the frequency in respect of blood group B is 6. Next O. O blood group 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now what is the balance? It is AB blood group. Let us count the same. 1, 2, and 3. These were blood group O. Number of students were 5, 5, 10 plus 2, 12. Now here these are only 3. So now, so far we have built frequency distribution table in respect of 30 students which were having different blood groups. We have formed this frequency distribution table. That is the number of students having a particular blood group. Now what is the another question which is written here? Which is the most common blood group? Most common blood group means when the persons or the students having the number of students having the particular blood group, maximum number of students. The maximum number of students have been found in the case of O. This is the maximum numbers. This is the minimum or rarest blood group. This is the minimum number. So first we will count, right, which is the most common blood group. Most common blood group is equal to blood group with highest frequency. This is the frequency, highest frequency. Or we can also say that maximum number of students. Is equal to most common blood group is O. Maximum number of students are present in respect of blood group where the blood group O has been found are O. This is the most common blood group O. Now the another is rarest blood group. Rarest blood group is where blood group with lowest frequency. Lowest frequency is in respect of AB. Lowest frequency, or we can say that minimum number of students. is equal to 3. We have written this here because if we shift to the next slide, we will not be able to see the data which has been formed by us in form of table. So we have written this. When you are writing in the exam, you are to write this below the table. So most common blood group is O and the rarest blood group is AB. Here we have to write not the number of students but blood group. Rarest blood group has been found is AB, where the number of students are minimum. We hope you will have understood how this table has been formed. The students were given having the particular blood group. We have to count each student which is having the particular blood group in the form of a table. We are not to count the students verbally. We have to count the students by writing the same in the form of a tally, and then we have to sum up the same, and this will be the frequency, that is the number of students. And when we form the table, we can easily find out which is the most common and which is the rarest blood group. Now the question before us is the distance in kilometer of 40 engineers from their residence to their place of work was found as follows: 5, 3, 10, 20, and so on. Construct a group frequency distribution table with class size 5 for the data given above, taking the first interval of as 0 to 5, 5 not included. What main features do you observe from this tabular representation? What is the question first? This is. Now, the question is that there are 40 engineers in a particular organization, and here the data in respect of the distance which they have to travel while going to office or workplace is mentioned. One engineer is residing at 5 kilometers, another is residing at 3, another is 10, 20, and so on. This is the distance which they have to travel while going to workplace each day. And now, on the basis of this distance which has been given, we are to construct a grouped frequency distribution table. That is, we will not take that, we will write that A is covering the distance of 5 kilometer, B is covering the distance of 6, C is covering the distance of 10. No, we will form the grouped frequency distribution table. That is, we will form the group, that is, say from 0 to 5 kilometer, number of engineers are this. The number of number of engineers who have to travel say 5 to 10 kilometers, the numbers is this. From 10 to 15 kilometers, the number of engineers are this. We will form the grouped frequency distribution table. So now answer. Now first we will have to form grouped frequency distribution table. We will have to form groups. So first, for forming the group, we will have to find out which is the minimum distance a particular engineer has to travel and the maximum distance which an engineer might have to travel to go to office. So first we see minimum distance. Minimum distance is, first we will see here 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. Anything less than 3, this is 2. Anything less than 2, 2, no. So we see the minimum distance is 2 and maximum distance might ask why we are mentioning maximum or minimum distance. We are mentioning the same because on the basis of this distance, we will form the groups or the intervals. So the maximum distance is here it is 10, 20, 25, 25, 31, 31. Anything more than that, this is 32. Anything more than 32? No. So the maximum distance is 32. So now we will form the group frequency distribution table where 2 is covered and 32 is also covered. So this is written that class size is 5 and the first class interval is 0 to 5. So we take intervals as 0 to 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 15 and so on, and up to we will take 30 to 35 because we will also have to cover the distance of 32 in the distribution table. So here we form the grouped frequency distribution table. So how we will form? First we will write the distance in kilometers. Now we will also have to count the number of persons or the number of engineers who are traveling the particular distance. So here we will only count tally. So here we will actually mention the total of engineers which have to cover the particular distance. So these are the columns which we have to form. So first interval will be 0 to 5, then 5 to 10, then 10 to 15, 15 to 20, 20 to 25, 25 to 30 and 30 to 35. These will be the groups. We will have to mention add these lines because if we do not mark these lines, the tally or what we write may merge with each other and we will not be able to arrive at particular conclusion. So here we have formed the intervals, that is the distance which the engineers have to travel. We have mentioned the same in groups, that is all the engineers who have to travel say up to 5 kilometers will be mentioned here, and all the engineers who travel from 5 to 10 kilometers will be mentioned in the next group. So here it will be the tally and this will be the outer forming of the table. Now it is to be remembered that when we are talking about 0 to 5 kilometers, in this particular interval we will mention only those engineers who travel less than 5 kilometers, and all the engineers who travel 5 or less than 10 will be mentioned in this. That is, 5 will not be counted in the first interval, 10 will not be counted in the second, 15 will not be counted in the 13th and so on. That is, this which is the highest interval in the particular group will not be counted. 5 will not be counted in this, 10, because this is the convention that we will take here up to 5. That is, all the engineers who travel less than 5 will be counted here. 5 and above, but below 10 will be counted here. So this is to be remembered because this is the convention by following. Because if we take the engineer who travels up to travel say 5 kilometers, we will take this and we will again take 5 kilometers here again, a particular engineer who travels 5 kilometers, then it will result into duplication. That duplication by way of say it is going on. we deal with it in such a way that we take it up to 5. We will not count 5. So now we will say this is the first engineer who travels 5 kilometers. It will be counted here and not here. Now this engineer travels 3 kilometers. It will be counted in this. This is the 10 kilometers. It will be counted here and not here. This is 20. It will be counted in this side. Here, which is the lowest and not the highest. Highest will not be considered. Here 20 is taken. 25 will be taken in this class interval. 11 will be considered in this. 13 will be considered in this. 7 will be considered in this class interval. 12 will be considered in this. 31 will be considered in this. 30 to 35. 19, it will fall in between 15 and 20 class group. 12, 10 is to be counted here and not here, as already told. 12 is to be counted here. 17 is to be counted in this 15 to 20. 18, it will be again mentioned here. 11, it will fall 10 to 15. 32, last group. 17, it will fall 15 to 20. 16, it will fall 15 to 20. 2, it will fall in the first group. 7, it will fall in the second, 5 to 10. 9, it will fall again in the same. 7, it will again fall in the same group. 8, it will again fall in the same group. 5 to 20 class interval. 3, it will be in the first class interval. 5, it will be in the second. 12, it will fall in the 10 to 15 range. 15, it will fall in the 15 to 20 range. 18, it will fall the class interval 15 to 20. 3, this will be in the first 0 to 5. 12, it will fall in 12 to 15 range. 14, it will be in the 10 to 15 class interval. 2, first class interval. 9, it will be in the second class interval, 5 to 10. 6, it will be in the second class interval. 15, it will be in between 15 to 20. Again it is 15. It will be again 15 to 20. 7, 5 to 10. 6, it will be again this. And 12, it will be here. Now we will count. This is 5, this is 11, this is 11, 15 to 20, 5 plus 4, these are 9, 20 to 25, the number of engineers who travel 20 to 25 are 1, the number of persons who travel between 25 to 30 are 1, and the number of engineers who have to travel the distance between 30 to 35 are 2, because we have to count the same. This was 5, this was 5 plus 5 plus 1, 5 plus 5 plus 1, 5 plus 4, 1, 1, and 1 plus 1, 2. So here we count the same, because here it is written as these are the 40 engineers. So now we will here also count, so that we may see that the actually we have counted all the engineers. 5 plus 11, 16, 27, 36, 37, 38, 38 plus 2, 40. So we have counted all the engineers. So now what is again, we find that what main features do you observe from this tabular representation? Now we go through this table. What is written here? That the number of engineers who have to travel from 0 to 5 are 5, 5 to 10 are 11, 10 to 15 are also 11. So from this table, we find that the maximum number of engineers have to travel the distance up to 15 kilometers. So we observe that most of the engineers have their workplace at the distance of 0 to 15 kilometers. This is the 0, this is the 15, and the number of engineers are 20, 27. So most of the engineers have their workplace at the distance of 0 to 15 kilometers from their houses or from their homes. That is, most of the engineers have to travel in between 0 to 15 kilometers. We also find that these are the minimum figures 1, 1, 2. That is, here there are very few engineers who have to travel the distance in between 20 to 35. So next second point which we find that there are very few engineers whose residence is at the distance of 20 kilometer or more from the workplace. That is, we have observed two things. That is, maximum engineers have to travel only up to 0 to 15 kilometers, and there are only a few engineers who have to travel 20 kilometers or more. Here we have been able to construct a grouped frequency distribution table. We hope you might have understood this question very easily. Thank you. Now the question before us is the relative humidity in percentage of a certain city for a month of 30 days was as follows: 98.1, 98.6, and so on. Construct a grouped frequency distribution table with classes 84 to 86, 86 to 88, and so on. Now what is given? First we understand this question, that the relative humidity of a certain city was recorded for 30 days. On one day it was 98.1, other day it was 98.6, and so on. That is, the different humidity was on different dates. We have to construct a table in which we have to show the number of times the particular humidity was there. We have to form the grouped frequency. That is, we are not to write each entry separately. We have to form a table in groups. That is, from the question we can say that in particular entry we will write all the days in which the relative humidity was in between 84 to 86, and then in another group the number of days the relative humidity was 86 to 88. In this way we are to construct a grouped frequency distribution table. Now firstly, to form the intervals we will have to find out the minimum relative humidity and the maximum relative humidity. So now we see minimum relative humidity is minimum 98.1, 90, 86, anything 86, 86 less than 86, 84.9, anything less than 84.9, no. So the minimum relative humidity is 84.9. Now we will find out the maximum relative humidity. Maximum relative humidity. Now what is the maximum? We will find out. Maximum 98.6, 99.2, anything more than 99.2, 99.2, 99.2, 99.2, 99.2, no. So the maximum relative humidity in the given table is 99.2. So we have so far calculated the minimum relative humidity and maximum relative humidity. We have find out the same. So now we are to form the tables which cover the minimum relative humidity as well as the maximum relative humidity. So we take intervals or form intervals as 84 to 86. It will cover 84.9, 84 to 86, 86 to 88, 88 to 90. That is, we will add 2 each time, 99, 90 to 92 and so on up to the point which covers 99.2. So it will be 98 to 100. So now we will form the table. So what is given to us is relative humidity. Relative humidity in percentage. So now we will have to count the relative humidity. So here we will write tally. Then we will have to sum up the tally. That is the number of days in which the relative humidity was falling in the particular class. So here we will mention number of days, or we can also call it frequency. So now here we will write the class intervals 84 to 86, 86 to 88, 88 to 90, 90 to 92, 92 to 94, 94 to 96, 96 to 98, 98 to 100. Up to 100 we will have to form the table. So here it is the table before you which we are constructing, in which we have taken 3 columns. First is relative humidity, second is tally where we will do counting, and then at the last we will mention total of all the days. So it is 84.86. Here we will do separate so that the entries may not merge with each other. I have not been able to draw the lines in straight line. But when you are appearing in the exam, there may be lines on which you may draw the proper score, because we are not having the proper system on which we can draw the lines. So this is the table before you. Here, this is the blank table which we have built. Here it will be total, which will be count here. So now we will find out first how many days the relative humidity was in between 84 to 86. No, we will take from the first entry 98.1. 98.1 falls in this range. Here it 98 to 100. Now the second entry is 98.6. It will also fall here. 99.2. It will also fall here. 90.3. 90.3 will fall 90 to 92. 86.5. 86.5 will fall in between 86 to 88. 95.3. It will fall here 94 to 96. 92.9. It will fall here 92 to 94. 96.3. It will fall here 96 to 98. 94.2. It will fall here 94 to 96. 95.1. It will fall 94 to 96. 89.2. 89.2. 89.2. It will fall 88 to 90. 92.3. 92.3. It will fall in between 92 to 94. 97.1. It will fall 96 to 98. 93.5. It will fall here 92 to 94. 92.7. It will fall 92 to 94. 95.1. 95.1. It will fall 94 to 96. 97.2. 97.2. It will fall in the class range of 96 to 98. Now the next is 93.3. 93.3. It will fall here. We have counted 93.3. 95.2. 95.2. 95.2 here. 97.3. 97.3. It will fall 96 to 98. 96.2. 96.2. 96.2. It will fall 96 to 98. 92.1. 92.1. 92.1. It will fall here. 84.9. 84.9. It will fall here. 90.2. 90.2. It will fall here. 95.7. 95.7. It will fall here. 94 to 96. 98.3. 98.3. It will fall here. 97.3. 97.3. 97.3. It will fall here. 96.1. 96.1. 96.1. It will fall here. 96 to 98. 92.1. 92.1. It will fall here. 89. 89. 89. It will fall here. So now we will count. Before we proceed further, we may tell you that, well, we are forming the grouped frequency table. We must learn, we must understand that suppose there was an entry of 86. We will count it in this class interval 86.88 and not here, because if we count the entry of 86 here, and it will be again counted in the next class interval 86 to 88. So as a matter of convention, we do not take the entry of 86 in the first group, but in the second group where it is the lowest, that is, we do not count the entry on the higher end. Here in the first class interval, we will take any entry up to 86, that is any entry which is from 84 to less than 86. In the same way, when we come to the other group, we will count all the entries where the relative humidity is 86 to 88, that is 86 to less than 88, and so on. So now here we will count the relative humidity was in between 84 to 86 only for one day, and then it was 86 to 88 only for one day, 88 to 90 for 2 days, it was 90 to 92 for 2 days, and then between 92 to 94 relative humidity was for 7 days. Then the relative humidity was in between 94 to 96 for 5.5 plus 1, it was for 6 days. Then relative humidity was 96 to 98, between 96 to 98, that is less than 98 but 96 or more than that, but up to 98, that is less than 98, it was 7. Then the relative humidity was between 98 and up to 100, it was for 4 days. Then we will count 1, 1, 2, 6, 13, 19, 26, 4, 30. That is, we have counted the number of days from here to here. It means that we have counted all the entries and no entry has been left out. So far we have constructed the grouped frequency distribution table where the minimum relative humidity was 84.9 and the maximum was 99.2. So now another question which is here is, which is month or season do you think this data is about? Here, from this data, we find out that the relative humidity, we find that relative humidity is very high in the given data. Here what is given in the data, the relative humidity is very high as humidity is absorbed to be high during the rainy season, so the data is about rainy season. We may add that the relative humidity at any particular city or in a particular location depends upon the weather of that area. We are here talking only about the, in normal circumstances, if such type of data is given, then from this data we observe that the relative humidity is high, as the relative humidity is high during the rainy season. So this data is about the rainy season. Now the next point is, which is third, what is that? What is the range of this data? To find out the range of the data, we will have to sum up the maximum value of data and minimum value of data, and we will have to range of data, we will have to cancel, subtract the minimum value from the maximum value. So first we will write the maximum value of data, and from that maximum value we will subtract the minimum value of data. Suppose the range is say 0 to 5, we will say that 5 minus 0, the range is 5. If we say that the range is 5 to 10, we will reduce 5 from 10 and the range will be 10 minus 5, 5. In the same way, when the range of data is here given, we will first find out which is the minimum range, minimum data, and what is the maximum value of data. Here the maximum value of data which we had find out was the 99.2. So this is the maximum value of data. And what was the minimum value of data? Minimum value of data was 84.9. So here it will be the range of the data which we will get after deducting 84.9 from 99.2. So it is 14.3 when we subtract 84 point from 99.2. So this is the range of the data in which this data is coming into. By now you have find out that if the relative humidity of many days is given, how to construct grouped frequency distribution table and to which season this particular data belongs, and we can find out the range of data by finding out the maximum value of data and minimum value of data, and then we will deduct the minimum value of data from the maximum value of data and we will arrive at the range of data. Now the question before us is the height of students, 50 students measured to the nearest centimeter have been found to be as follows: 161, 150, 154 and so on. Represent the data given above by a grouped frequency distribution table taking the class intervals as 160 to 165, 165 to 170, etc. Here what is given? Here there are 50 students whose height have been measured, and we are to form a grouped frequency table. That is, we are not to mention that one student is having 150, another is having 160. We are not to mention in this way. That is, we are not to form a very big table. We are to form a grouped frequency table wherein the number of students which fall within the particular range, that is say between having the height between 160 to 165 fall, and the another group, the students may fall in the range of 165 to 170 and so on. So here we will first find out that what is the minimum height and what is the maximum height, so that we can form the grouped frequency table accordingly. Here we have been given the class intervals as 160 to 165, but if we start from the table 160 to 165, where the entries which are like that 150 and 154 will go. So first we will find out the minimum height and the maximum height. We see minimum height is equal to, so first we will find out the minimum height: 161, 150, 150, 150, 150, 150, 150, 150, 150, 150, 150, 150, 150. No, there is no entry which is less than 150. So we see that minimum height is 150 centimeter. In the same way, we will have to find out the maximum height. maximum height is 161, 165, 168, 168, 168, 168, 171, 171, 171, 172, 172, 172, 172, 172. Anything more than 172, 172, anything in the data 173, 173, 173, 173. So the maximum height is 173 centimeter. So we will have to form the grouped frequency table which covers the minimum height, that is 150, and the maximum height, that is 173 centimeter. So first, what is the data is given? Heights are given. So we will write here height in centimeters. As we will have to count the same, our column will be tally. As we will have to sum up the number of students which are having the particular height falling in the particular range or particular class. So here the another column will be number of students, that is the frequency, the number of students having the particular height which falls in the particular range or class interval. So these are the three columns. First is the height, next is the tally, and then total of number of students. Height will be start from 150. So you can see here that there is the class interval has the difference of 5. So when we start from 150, our it will end at 155. So here we will form the class interval in the same way. 160, another will be 160 to 165, then 165 to 170. We will have to take this class interval up to that point which covers 173. So when we come up to 170 to 175, it will cover 173. So we have formed the table up to 175. This is the table which we have formed. Here we will write total, as we will have to do totaling at the last of the question. Now we will find out the number of students who fall in the class interval of 150 to 155. We will not start from 155 to 155. We will start from the data which has been given. We will start from 161. We will find out first where it particular entry falls. It falls here. We may here add that when we are finding out which entry falls in the particular class interval, we will have to remember that if say the entry falls, say if a particular height is say 155, we will not count it here. We will count it in the next slide, next column, in the next class interval, because it is by convention that when the part here we will count only on the entries which are 150 to up to 155. That is any entry which falls from 150 to less than 155. In the same way, any entry which is less than 160 will be counted in this. Any entry which is equal to 160 or more than 160 but less than 165 will fall in third class interval. This is by way of convention because it will avoid duplication. We can find out that if we take the entry of 155 in this column and 155 is again mentioned here, so it will result into duplication of the entries. So to avoid that, it is by way of convention that the entry like 160 will fall in where it is the minimum starting point. it will be counted here and not here. So here we will come to the main 161. 161 will be counted between 160 to 165. We will cut 150. 150 will, it will be here. 154. 154 will be here. 165. 165 will be counted here and not here. It will be counted here because all the entries which are equal to 165 or more than 165 but less than 170 will be counted here. Next is 168. It will be counted here. 161. This one. 154. This. 162. 162. It will be counted here. 150. 150 will be counted here. 151. 151 will be counted here. Next is 162. 162. It will be here. 164. 164. 164. This is here. 171. 171. This is here. 165. 165. 165 will be counted here. 158. 158. 158 here. 154. 154. 154 is here. 156. 156 here. 172. 172 is here. 160. 160. 160 is here. 170. 170. 170. 170 is here. It will be not counted in this class interval but in this class interval. 153. 153. 153. 159. 159. 161. 161. 170, 170, 170, 170 here. 162, 162, 162, 162 here. 165, 165, 165 here. 166, 166, 166 here. 168, 168, 168, it will be here. 165, 165, 165 here. 164, 164 here. 154, 154, 154 here. 152, 152, it is here. 153, 153, it will be counted here. 156, 156, it will be counted here. 158, 158, it will be counted here. 162, 162, 162, it is here. 160, 160, 160, it is here. 161, 161, it is here. 173, 173, it is here. 166, 166, 166, 161, 161, 161, it is here. 159, 159, 159, it is here. 162, 162, it will be counted here. 167, 167, it will fall in the class interval of 165 to 170. 168, 168, 168, 159, 159, 159, it will fall here. 158, 158, it will count here. 153, it will be counted here. 154, it will be counted here. 159, it will be counted here. So now we find out the number of students who are having the height falling in between 150 to 155. Here it is 5, 5, 10, 2, 12. 5 plus 4, 9. 5 plus 5 plus 4, 14. Next 165 to 170, 5 plus 5, 10. 170 to 175, these are 5. So now we do total 35, 45, 5, 50. So it shows that we have counted all the entries. So we have so far formed the grouped frequency distribution table. The next point is, what do you conclude about their heights from the table? That is what we observe from this table about the heights of students. From this table, we observe that the number of students who are falling in the range between 150 to maximum students fall in the range of 12, 150 to 155, 15 to 160 and 14. So the maximum students fall in the range of 150 to 165. What is the total? These are 35. Total is total number of students are 50, and about and total 35 students out of 50 are having the height between 150 to 165. That is, we can conclude that 35 is more than 50% of 50, because if we calculate 50% of 50, it is 25. That is more than 25. That is the 50% of more than 50%. That is, we conclude that more than 50% of students are having height from 150 to 165 centimeter. Or in other words, we can also write it as that more than 50% of students are having, we can write it as in this way also, are having height less than 165. You can write in any manner that more than 50% students are having height in between 150 to 165, or we can in other words write it as that more than 50% students are having height less than 165 centimeters. It is up to you. You can opt any for it, any of the answers. Thanks for watching. If you like our course, please spare some time to give a star rating to our course.